Hey everybody, it's your girl Barbie J here, and we are talking about Tyler Perry's Bruh, Season 2, Episodes 9, An Eye for an Eye, and Episode 10, The Long Journey. That's right, I'm going to be doing 2 episodes at a time. That's because, Bruh is only a half an hour long show. So I could get in 2 episodes on one video. I hope you guys don't mind. It makes it easier for Barbie J here. Anyway, before we get started, if you have not as of yet subscribed to my channel, please take a moment right now and hit that little subscription bar and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to be notified every time Barbie J uploads a new video, then hit that little notification bell and it will definitely let you know. What else? Also, I would like for you to do me a favor. And once you watch the video, like it, write a comment, and share. Like, comment, and share. And that would help Barbie J's channel grow. Y'all know I was trying to reach this goal by December to get 1,000 subscribers. I only got 700. I need 300 more. Help me out. I can't let 2022 come in and I don't have 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, y'all all know I appreciate you, all of my commenters and subscribers. I love you guys. Anyway, let's get on with this video real quick. Okay, so here we got Mike. He taking revenge on John for hitting him the night before at the bar. You know, he was disrespecting the bartender and swearing and stuff. And John was trying to get him to shut up, and he was drunk, and John just capped him one, And I was like, oh, snap. So, because Mike wanted to take revenge for him hitting him, he came to the store the next day, to the sandwich shop. And Mike was keeping the door locked so that he couldn't get in. But then when Mike finally left, Miss Alice gets there and she lets Mike inside. She comes back and he's like, lock the door. She's like, don't lock that door. What you locking? We need customers to come in and all this stuff. Sometimes I don't know who's supposed to be the owner of that shop, because they going back and forth. It was taking too much time for me. So John, Mike gets in and John tries to calm him down and trying to get him not to fight. And Miss Alice is like, what you going on? What y'all doing here? She, her old funny self. Miss Alice is a trip, okay? She is over the top funny. I can't even start repeating some of her jokes because it's just too much for me right now. Anyway, she was in between them. And when Mike got in and ran up on her, she said, you better not get up close on me like that again. You're going to get effed. And she wasn't talking about effed up. She was like, I think she talking about having sex with him because he was too close on her and stuff. So anyway, Mike is taking off his jacket. He ready to go hit him and stuff and hold my jacket and all this stuff. Miss Alice over there videotaping it. She videotaping, waiting while John lets Mike hit him and he knocks him the freak out. He knocked John out with one hit. And Miss Alice is like, wait a minute, is he dead? Is he dead? And she kicking him and stuff. And Mike is telling her to stop kicking him. She said, shit, you the one that did this? Why can't I kick him? So anyway, she had to pour some smelling salt out of her pocketbook. And he's like, what you doing with smelling salt? And she started explaining. He told Miss Alice, you a freak, huh? He started laughing at her. But it woke Mike up. And then, it woke John up. And then Mike left and stuff. And John was in pain. His face was hurting and everything. It was crazy. It really was. So in the meantime, Bill is annoying the mess out of Natalie. He shows up at her yoga studio and everything, her yoga class, and he's with the namaste and all of that stuff and getting a mat and stretching this. And then Regina and Pam show up. And once they show up, they start clowning on Bill for stuff he was saying and doing and stuff. And he finally gives in and he leaves. Because it was just too much right there. Because they didn't want him in the class. And Natalie was just standing there like, oh my God. She was just so done with him. And he said something about you women and they're playing games. And he was like, what? They both was like, no, you didn't open your mouth and say that. And once they started attacking him on that, that's when he really bounced. And then in the meantime, we got John. He is driven to the hospital by his mom, Miss Alice, so that Tom can check him out in his jaw because his jaw is hurting. And then Miss Alice, she just busted into the doggone examining room and she shows Tom the picture of John, the video of John getting knocked the F out. And he's laughing and everything because he did tell John when it happened to record it if he can. He's like, I'm not recording this, stupid. And then Miss Alice posted it on her social media page. She is a trip. Then so she asked Tom to, she in there talking to Tom and stuff. And then she asked him while he's there, could he look at her son's penis because it's really small. Miss Alice is crazy. She crazy. He's like, she's like, maybe you could stretch it or something and help him out. And then John is like, do you really want me to look at it? You want me to look at it? He answered, John's like, would you stop? Why you keep talking about, well, because your mom's kept on. He said, would you stop? You know, it seemed like Tom still kept wanting to see his penis when John kept saying, I'm good. Leave me alone, you know. Anyway, so then John writes him a script for, you know, for some painkillers. And John doesn't have, Tom writes the prescription. John doesn't have any insurance. And he's asking how much the painkillers are going to be, how much they're going to cost. And he said, oh, about $60, $70. He said, what? $60, $70? He said, what about the generic brand? How much that cost? He said, that is the generic price. He's like, man, you better get me some damn crack or something or some meth. You know, it's cheaper and it'll take the pain away quicker. I started falling out. I was like, he probably right about that. That is crazy. Painkillers are nothing but like some Advil and Motrin, you know, maybe a little bit stronger, but not $60, $70 worth stronger, you know. You take one of those pills in the hospital while you were having surgery or something, and after surgery, they charge you $10 for one little pill. And you get a bottle for that. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy hospital prices. Anyway, prescription drugs, I'm sorry, they just cost a lot. So what else happened? Regina shows up at Mike's apartment to find out what he wants. You know, because you know he called her that night before when she was heading over to Tom's. So he's like, you need to know who your man is. But first he's telling Regina that he has always liked her and stuff and that, you know, he wants her right now. You know, he trying to persuade her or whatever, trying to get, you know, have sex with her. I said, what the hell is he doing? I guess that was his old weak way of trying to seduce Regina or something like that. You know, I was like, he is so tacky. He's so bent on getting even. It was too much for me to see him act like that because that's your boy. You know, so he's like, I want you right now. So what do you say? She said, Negro, I say you just trying to get back at Mike. You know, he said, look, Bill doesn't deserve you. Come on. It's just sex. I won't tell anyone. She's like, what? And it kind of went off that way. That's how that episode ended. And then the next episode started with her saying that, you know, you're trying to get back at Mike. And he was like, come on. I won't tell anybody. She's like, no, you stupid SOB. There is absolutely no freaking way that I'm going to sleep with you. What the hell? Who do you think I am? And he told her how with that time when she was looking for Bill, he was been cheating on her with these twins or something like that, triplets, I don't know, 3 girls, whatever he was saying. And she was sitting there like, wow. She said, I can't believe this. You do all of this to get even. Just to get even with. She's like, do you hate him that much? He said, yeah, he effed Pam. And she's like, no, he didn't. And then she's like, wow, so I guess you're using me to get back at her too, you know. And she's like, Mike, they didn't even have sex. Yes, he did. Yes, they did. I have proof. You know, I had a private investigator following her. You know, she's like, why? He's like, to know what she was doing, you know. And so what's up? We fucking or what? And she was like, what? Slap. She knocked the mess out of him. I was like, ooh. And then called him an asshole, which he was. That was such an asshole move. I think Mike is just doing such a terrible job of calling himself seducing her. But how you going to play that and put some woman in the middle, you being upset, getting back at somebody, and then for what reason? For what reason? Because you think he did it, and she's trying to tell you, he told you he didn't do it. She's telling you, Pam says she didn't do it. And then Regina's telling him, I told her to kiss him, But Mike and that little ego of his is just, it's a bit too much, I guess, for him. He got that little short man syndrome. What is it called? Napoleon complex? Anyway, then they show Tom and John. They show up at Bill's apartment. They want him to go with them to Mike's, to talk things out. And he's like, I'm not going to his house to talk nothing out. Come on, we the brothers. We the bros. We always talk these things out. We got to talk it out. Bill is like, no way in hell. I'm not going. I don't care. He said, I'm done with the bros. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. But they kept saying, open the door, open the door, open the door. And he was like, no, go away, go away. They just kind of like walked in his house, and I'm sitting there going, I'm sorry. Why in TP world do all of these friends have each other's keys and can walk in each other's apartments? I was like, what the heck? I was like, everybody wants it. Even our sisters, they walk into each other's houses. Everybody got each other's keys. I'm like, what is going on with all the men and different people that be in their apartments? They got to be careful with whose keys they got and what doors they go through. I don't know. I'm just saying. I might be rambling, but I'm just like, come on. I'm in New York, please. You don't want a bunch of people having your keys. Anyway, he asked for them keys back when they were leaving, but they wouldn't give it to him. And I was laughing. I was like, please, he leaves a spare key somewhere, because that's how Regina got into the apartment before. So anyway, what else happened? They leave, and then Bill calls Natalie stating that he needs to talk to her or something like that. And so she kept saying no, and then she finally agreed to come over, and he hung up. And he was like, F Mike. He don't have nothing to do with Mike. So they show Regina. She goes back to Mike's apartment because she got it in her head now. She feels like something's going on. She said because Pam keeps calling her. And she's like, Mike, are you sure that they had sex? And he's like, yeah, I've got proof. And she said, well, I need to see some of the proof. And he said the PI was going to be sending him some pictures through on the fax. So they was waiting for it. So in the meantime, she has a glass of wine and she sits down and wait and stuff. And they start somehow talking about, they get on conversation with Miss Alice or something. How I think it was about her posting the picture of Mike hitting John. And then Mike is talking about how she's a little freak. That Miss Alice is a freak. She said, yeah, but you better not let her hear you say that. And they just are laughing and laughing. So then we have, on the way back, on the way to Mike's house, we have John and Tom in the car. And Miss Alice calls John to get her something. He's like, Ma. She has him get her. She asked for some tampons, the blue and yellow box and all this stuff, some lube, because she get a dry pussy and stuff, and condoms in the large and small size, the magnum and the little itty bitty one. And John is like, Ma, please, damn, I've been getting your condom, your women's stuff for years. This is terrible. I'm tired. I don't want to hear about it, And I'm laughing, and Tom is trying not to laugh as this is going down, and John is getting disgusted as Tom was chuckling to himself, and his mother was going, pussy, pussy, pussy. She kept saying that. And all I could think of is Strong J and Boomerang with Eddie Murphy. You remember Strong J was in the restaurant talking about pussy, 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 pussy. All the white people was looking around, pussy, 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 pussy. That's all I could think about when she was saying that. That's just who I thought about, and I just fell out. I fell out because that was one of my favorite Boomerang scenes. So Tom stops at the store so that John could get those things. He was like, you sure you don't want to go after we leave, Mike's house? He's like, no, let me just get it now and get it over with. So while John's in the store, Tom gets this devastating news of a phone call, And he's like, what? And you could hear his voice cracking and he's about to cry and stuff. And he was like, okay, I'm coming. I'll be there tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow. So it's about his mom is not doing good. She's really not doing well. And he's upset with himself because he's so busy trying to keep the bros together when his mother really needed him. He was supposed to be there about the day before. I think he was supposed to be there. But he too busy trying to focus on them, acting like babies and children. It's crazy. So he leaves John. He was like, come on, John. Come on, John. And I guess John was taking too long and Tom just drove off and left him. So he goes home and he gets to his apartment and Greg comes in and he asks Greg to pick up John from the store. He left him there. And he said, yo, do me a favor, take care of my bros. They fighting right now, but they need to be together. I need you to help get them back. He said, okay, man, I'll do what I can. And he said, oh, and call and let, when you go to the hospital and let somebody in management know something, he said. And he said, okay, and then I'll offer to even, maybe I could fill in. And he said, oh, yeah, go see such and such, because she likes to hire young black, doctors. So I guess that's what Greg went to, was supposed to go to the hospital and do that. So now this part with Natalie showing up to Bill's house, that was a little bit touching for me. I was like, wow, because I didn't know Natalie was kind of a therapist, I guess. And she's a better therapist than that quack on Sisters. That quack on Sisters who messing with Gary. But anyway, so Natalie is at Bill's and she started off right away because he's like, no, I just wanted some company. She said, no, you said you needed to talk. We're going to have this, so what, we going to have a therapy session? She said, you damn right, we're going to have it, and I'm billing you. He said, okay, well, send it to my secretary or my assistant or whatever. And she said, I sure will. And she had him in there. First thing she asked him was about his mother, and he's like, what? Because he was thinking it was a joke. Oh, let me get ready, and oh, let me get my chakras in order and all this stuff. And she goes, tell me about your mother. He's like, damn. He said, he said, I don't talk about her. And she's like, why? He said, because she abandoned me as a kid. And I was raised by my grandmother, So they went into some deep conversation about her. And then she asked him about his father because he knew the mother stuff hurt so bad. He asked about that. She was asking her, does it make you feel, how do you feel neglected, left out and stuff? Next thing you know, Bill was crying. I was like, whoa, this woman is good. So he was crying as he did all of this soul searching, about who he was. And she's trying to tell him a lot of his issues with women stems from his past. And she said, I'm a woman and I tend to pick men based on my father. And she said men pick them based on their mother, so she's letting him know that part of his issue with women is coming from him not dealing with how he felt about his mother leaving him based off of this, And I said, wow. So she was like, I can take you through this all, I could go through you with this and we could do it, but it's going to be painful. And he was like, okay, let's do it. And that's what they did. They went through that whole thing. So that's when she switched and asked him about his father versus the mother. But he said, he didn't know his father. He wouldn't know him if he passed him in the street. So that's kind of sad. When I hear stories like that about people, they don't know a mother or the father because he really probably don't know his mother either that much. Maybe he wouldn't recognize her unless there was pictures of her around the house, during his childhood, being raised by his grandmother, but we don't know if it was his mother's mother or his father. It got to be his mother's mother, right? Because he don't know who his father is. So that was a deep moment in this show, which I was shocked about. And then it ended with Mike finding out that his PI was wrong. It was a different license plate. And Regina was like, you didn't read it. He wrote that it was a different license plate, So he apologizes. Mike apologizes. He apologizes. And Regina's like, what? The big old Mike is apologizing? And he said, you're not too bad a girl. She's like, I know that, honey. I know that. He said, yeah, Bill's a lucky man. And she told him, same with you. You're lucky, I guess, with Pam, she's saying. So, and at that moment, they're laughing and talking, and Bill walks into the apartment. I said, oh, snap. It's going to be on now because he going to know what she doing at Mike's house. And that's how it went off. So y'all let me know in the comment section what you thought about this review and if I missed out on anything from these 2 episodes. This your girl Barbie J saying peace.